Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome in. This is Pat Bernard, aka the Gobbler, aka Pat from Ambler, and I'm just here to talk Union soccer with you guys. And man, I am so pumped and so thrilled because this Union team, with when everyone thinks that they're gonna have problems in the East, this team just keeps on coasting through the East. There's nobody, and I mean nobody, that's gonna stop this Union team right now. The hottest team in Philadelphia sports right now, or the Philadelphia Union, sitting at the top of the East. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is beating these guys. They're rolling over teams. They're incredibly good. And then this Saturday, they just showed you. Look, they had a lot of deficiencies Saturday, and they still were able to get the job done. They were still able to get the job done, no questions asked. They were look. They drew four yellow cards right in the beginning, and they still took care of business. They still took care of business. Um, and that's what I liked about this Union team. They are resilient. They are resilient, and they do not give up, man. They are really good. For what they said, tough team. Hey, Linda, how are you? Um, like I said, the Union are a very good squad. I know, like I said, a lot of guys turn their nose on them. Oh, it's just soccer. Who cares? Look, man, this team represents Philadelphia. Okay, you should be on board. You should be on board. No questions asked. No questions asked. At least check in on the scoreboard on this stuff because this team is going to be bringing the city a championship. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe it. So, like I said, let's get into Saturday's matchup. They head up to New York. They take on the Red Bull, who were looking pretty good, but the Union said, "Not today. I'm going to go up and beat you up again," and they did. They came up and they beat up this Red Bull team. The Red Bull had no shot on Saturday, none. They took care of the trash. And like I said, how do you want to cookie cut this? How do you want to cookie cut it? Andre Blake was playing phenomenal. He had two shots at him, back to back, and he made two incredible saves. He made two incredible saves. I mean, you look at the Gazdock, right? Guy's 18th goal of the season. 18th. He's third in the league. Third in the league in points. He's playing really, really well. Ohua looked really, really good. He picked off somebody, shot it to him, did a 5 hole, and got it on a goal. This team is answering on all cylinders. Even like I said, even the deficiencies right from the start, they were taking care of business. They were taking care of business in a big, big way. And I like it. I liked what I saw from the Union, man. They are playing some hot soccer right now. And like I said, a yellow card to Corey Burke, uh, Gazak. I mean, a couple of these guys, and it didn't matter because this team knows how to respond. This team knows how to respond in a big, big way, and they took care of business. Um, and I like it. I like what I see from this team, and now this is the, Andre Blake's 13th shutout. 13. Just think about that. 13 shutout. So, like I said, I know Austin and Gus are not here with me as right now. So, who's going to join me? No better than my son Dominic. Dominic, now he's a big time Union head himself. He loves the Union just like I do. Now, Dominic and I were locked into this game. We were just so pumped up to see the right, Dominic. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, buddy. So again, me and Dominic here. Yeah, he's hawking up right now, right? So, um, yeah, buddy. So yeah, don't worry about my little guy here. Um, like I said, let's get back to the game in here, right, Dominic? They were, like I said, Gaza gets his 18th goal, third in the league. He is, like I said, playing red hot soccer. And you're going to do that. You're going to get do this again against this New York Red Bull team. I thought there would be more physicality between the two teams, just because it's that New York and Philly rivalry, but there wasn't. There wasn't at all. These two guys were going back and forth, and that's what I love, man. They were really bringing it to one another, and like I said, it didn't matter. This is a shutout against a New York team, one of your rivalries, a top fourth seeded team. And guess what? It didn't matter. It didn't matter because the Union figured it out. They know how to score up the middle. Okay, they are they are really really solid up the middle, and there's no other team that's better than them. There's no team. Seriously, give me a team that's better than the Union team, and you see that I think they're 2 points out or getting the supporter shield. Come on, they're getting the supporter shield now. They are playing red hot soccer. Okay, like I said, if you watch the game Saturday night, you saw it was right up the middle. They dominated right in the middle. They like I said, they set picks. They were taking balls off the Red Bulls' hands. They looked stunned. They looked confused. And like I said, as much credit I want to give the offense, the credit's got to go to Andre Blake, proving why he's the best goaltender in the league. Proving why he's the best goaltender in the league. Because he answered the bell. He answered on all cylinders. He seriously, like I said, he only seen one, but he saw two. They were trying to get creative. They were trying to bring all the pressure to him, to his doorstep, and he had. They couldn't get by him. They couldn't get by him. They had like five guys, three, four, five guys in the box, and nothing at all. They stuffed him. They stuffed him, which was really good, man. I love what I see from this Union team. Guys, man, like I said, if you're chiming in, if you're watching this episode, man, if you saw Saturday night's game against the Red Bull, please chime in. Give me a shout, hit the comments. Because like I said, I love what I see from this Union. Look, I said, I was like many of you guys out there, soccer, who cares? But guess what? Once you start paying attention on a weekly basis, you start to take the team in. You start putting away this 4-for-4 manner of only the Flyers, Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles. You start welcoming more teams because we do have more major league teams in this city. Just because they don't play in Philadelphia, I get they play in Chester. Who cares? They represent Philadelphia. There will be a parade, a broad street parade with this team. I guarantee it. I guarantee it because this team's playing lights out soccer. And like I said, coached by Jim Kurt. Jim Kurt has a game plan. He knows, again, he makes in-game adjustments. He knows how to work things. He just does it all, and I love it. I love what I see from Jim Kurt. How can you not? How can you not see? How can you not be happy with what you see from Jim Kurt, man? It's just total domination from Jim Kurt. Um, like I said, I'm very happy about it. But guys, before I go any further, let me pay some of the bills here over here at the EOP and Dev Row Sports Independent Lines. So guys, for if you guys are just joining me right now, um, hit up my man David R. Cherry, worker compensation, medical vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. Hit up David R. Cherry at 610-565-0300. Great guy. Get a hold of him. Look at the stack roster here we got going on at the Edge of Philadelphia, at the EOP network. Look at the stack roster. You know what I mean? So guys, like I said, the roster is only getting bigger from here on out. And guys, if anybody wants to see Carson Wentz get beat up by the Eagles, this is your chance to do it. This is your chance. Only $325 will give you a lower level ticket, bus, food, drink, entertainment. Like I said, I'm the gobbler. I know how to eat. I'm a professional slob. But this trip here, we're not talking about your typical burgers and hot dogs. We're talking filet mignon, steak, the whole nine, man. Go to phillysportstrips.com and tell them the Edge of Philly Sports sent you. All right, guys. With that being said, it's back to me. Uh, and like I said, this Union team has been playing lights out soccer. I can't stress it enough. I can't stress enough from what I see from uh, Gaza and Gonzaga and Carranza. Those guys are playing lights out, and I love it. And I love what I saw. They lead the league in dominating the middle. That's where they generate their offense from, and that's what I love what I see from this team. Hey Steve. Uh, Steve, how you doing? Steve, I hope you're a big Union head like myself. Um, but yeah, like I said, again, I can't stress enough how good this Union team is playing. Like I said, dominating the middle of the team. That's where they generate their offense from. That's where they score from. Again, they make goaltenders and defenses look silly. They're very creative in the offensive zone. They know how to get the job done. Uh, Here we go. He goes, Steve here. He goes, were you shocked that the call was overturned? Block play rule. Listen, Steve, I'm gonna be honest with you. The one rule, and thanks for chiming in, brother. I appreciate it. Keep on chiming. The one thing I'm surprised at, Steve, is that the Red Bull were getting all the calls by the union. Call it. I mean, I seen a bunch of yellow cards coming up. How come I didn't see? I saw one dirty play from the Red Bull, and the referees turned their heads. The referees turned their heads at it, and it's amazing how the referees just kind of they snorted their nose at it. Um, that shouldn't be ongoing. But look, if they want to play physical, like I always said, play physically all you want, because at the end of the day, the scoreboard at the top matters. The scoreboard at the top matters. That's the only one that matters to me. Is the one at the top. I don't care about anything else. Play physical, but stick to your game and win. Win, win, win. And it's not worth winning if you can't win big. Yeah, that's courtesy of one Coach Riley. Um, but like I said, man, they walk into Saturday's game. Um, they have a big win at home over Atlanta. They took care of Atlanta. They took Colorado at home. Two nice back-to-back wins. Then they go into New York and take care of business. And not only took care of business with everyone again, you have this feeling with a Philadelphia and New York game. It's going to be a close one because the teams know each other so well and the cities know each other and all that all that stuff. Here goes Steve again because some of these refs don't know what they're doing. Yeah, Steve, I agree with you. Steve, I 100% agree with you. The refs don't know what they're doing. They're lost. They're confused. I don't know how they get the job. Seriously, I mean, if you're going to call one-sided game, make sure you're going to call it down the middle. You know what I mean? I mean, what's this? A WWF official? Come on, come on. But anyway, like I said, um, they have a nice homestands. They take care of business. Then they go up to New York and shut them out. 0-0. Just when I thought this was going to be a close game, maybe a 2-1, 3-2 kind of a deal. No, they shut the door on. They shut the door on these guys, man. How good is that? How sweet is victory right now? How sweet is the victory? It's really good. It's really good. And I'm like I said, I'm very, very happy with what I seen with this Union team. Very happy. Very happy. And you can't be. How can you not be happy when you see now they are in? Now they pretty much got the supporting shield in the grasp of their hands, proving and staying that they're the best team in the NLS for the second year in a row. For the second year in a row, they're proving this. Again, guys, like I said, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I know what I'm thinking. I'm loving what I'm seeing from this Union team. Loving it. Loving every minute of it. Everything. They're taking care of it. They're punching teams in the mouth and they're spitting up blood. And they can't take the beating anymore. They can't take it. This Union team is savage. Savage. So, like I said, though, like I said, I could toot their horns, but like I said, watching Saturday's game again, um, like I said, I can't stress enough how good Andre Blake looked. I can't stress. Here goes my man Steve again. I was watching the Union playoffs last year. Some of the penalties should have been called. Maybe they can win it all. Look, Steve, I totally agree. I'm with you, buddy. I think they can win it all. I think the Union can win this whole thing. Seriously, I don't think there's only. I'm going to back my words here. Austin, Texas, the Texas FC, Dallas FC. I'm sorry. That's the only team I saw that gave the Union really like they played Union soccer to Union soccer level. Played them very good man-to-man coverage. Played them very, very. They shut them down defensively. That's the only team I see that gives them trouble. That's the only team I see them give them trouble. And that's fine. That's fine. But this Union team knows how to bounce back and win. And they did. They answered the call. Like you said, you've seen after that loss in Dallas, they they took the belt off the pants and they took DC over the knee and spanked them. And they've been spanking teams ever since. And now here we are going against Orlando. Now, look, I'm going to talk about Orlando in a little bit. Um, but like I said, they cracked them all. They cracked the woodshed on these guys. Um, and like I said, I can't stress enough how happy I am with this team. Now, like I said, is anyone on the East scares me? No, not really. No one on the East scares me. Nobody. I know the West might have some LAFC if you want to go there. Like I said, Dallas, that might be another team that scares me. But other than that, like who? Who else? No one really else scares me in the no one else really scares me in MLS. No one. This Union team is built for success. Um, like I said, the guys are scoring, guys are contributing, guys are from not just from the starting but from the bench as well, and having a big bench. And like I said, like we all question Jim Curtin's uh, coaching. What was going on with his coaching. Like I said, he was just testing things. He's trying things new for the playoffs. Okay, and now he's exploring those things that are becoming more successful with him, and he's doing just fine. He's doing just fine. He's playing very very well. He's coaching. Like I said, to me, he's the best coach in the city. It's proven. He's the best coach. He's been here the longest. I mean, what's there not to like about Jim Curtin right now and his success? You should like everything you're getting from Jim Curtin right now. You're getting the right substitutions, the right matchups. You're getting everything that you want from Jim Curtin. And Saturday was no difference. He put the man on man coverages. He put set up the uh, the right the right matchups. And like I said, he put the guys in position to win. And his play calling is amazing. His play calling, like I said, the guys are really creative in the offensive zone. That's really good. That is really good. Oh, and better late than never. But my man is here with his full grown beard. We love him. He is Austin Hamill. There he
Oh
is.
man, I am so terribly sorry.
No worry. Look, we all we
Work
all
things
work late.
happened, and it wound up making it for a bit of a longer night. But
No,
I am
but
glad I was able to get here in time.
no, no,
Uh,
no worries, no worries. Look, listen. One of us know how to hold the party down. Now, listen, guys, you guys just tune in. This right here is the real Union Head. And speaking of Union Head, like I say, go back, go to EOP. He's got a bunch of articles out. Catch Austin. Austin. So look, let me walk me through Saturday. Tell me what you saw.
Honestly, you saw the exact same thing that you've seen from this Union team, just against a bit of a tougher competition in New York Red Bull. You saw the exact same type of pressure. It's just New York sort of had a way to sort of counteract it from time to time and make it look a little more ineffective than it is usually. But this team still just is just basically imposing its will on anyone and everyone they face. And this streak of goals that we've been putting up in these past few games just continues to climb, and it's been amazing to see.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. I think, like I was just telling the audience here, like I said, 4 yellow cards out the shoot. The Union played sloppy. It was very ugly. They're playing stupid. And let's just call it what it was. It was
Yeah,
stupid.
they
However,
were caught on their heels a bit by the pressure that New York had to start off the match, and it caused a couple of costly yellows that'll kind of put us in a bit of a bad spot if the same kind of thing happens with Orlando City. But at the same time, it was kind of a necessary thing for an adjustment. And sometimes you got to take those bad calls and realize that you got to tighten it up and clean it up. And they did exactly that.
yeah, and that's like I said. That's like you said. They had some dumb penalties in the beginning. They were getting challenged. Andre Blake was getting challenged in the beginning, but he made the one play where there was like 4 or 5 guys on him, and he just was like an octopus in there. He was just stopping shots, stopping shots. I mean, he was getting tested early, and he was like I said, he looked really really good. And then like I said, the offense alone, just look Gazdag. I mean, just on the Terra, 18th goal, 13th, third in the league. Um, you had Andre Blake, his third 13th shutout of the year. now leading the league in shutouts. Um, again, this team is
It was just the goalkeeper of the year doing what he does best.
yeah
And honestly, the main surprise to me was with how solid this team can be defensively and how good of a goalkeeper Andre Blake is, that he just now is the league leader in clean sheets. It's insane. It's
right.
crazy that like we're just now talking about him being a league leader compared to everything else that's going on with this team. Like he just made his 200th career MLS start a couple games ago, so like he's hitting some milestones now with his career, and it's just further proving how good of a player at his position that he really is compared to the others in the league.
Right, right, and he was, and he is like you told like the New York goaltender, like it looked like the simple base play of um, Oha, just cut to the left, cut to the right, and bounce into the corner, and like he doesn't like make the half the effort that Andre Blake would have tried. He's not jumping around, he's not doing
The,
all
yeah,
the
I mean,
crazy stuff.
but that's mainly just the difference is that Andre Blake is just one of the most athletic goalkeepers in the league, so he's able to dive further across and make those kinds of plays. So
Right,
I wouldn't really say it's like that he was bad. He was getting put out of position, and the shots that were being taken were just out of reach of him for being able to leap over to. But still, I mean, taking the W against a team that you potentially could be seeing in a second or third round matchup in the playoffs, being able to get that win and take essentially the season series now is always a plus. And getting another 3 points, keeping pace with LAFC, maintaining that number one spot overall in the league. You just
right.
more than anything, I'm looking at a lot of the positives because the negatives were early on in the match, and everything sort of came back up from that bit of a down spot after that fourth yellow and just sort of leveled off. And
Yeah,
you can't really be too mad about it because, like I said, you're keeping pace with the way this league is looking right now, and you're doing a good job. You're obviously you're doing a good job if you're the best in the league. So it's hard to really warrant the negatives too much talk, in my opinion. But
hmm
I feel like we still definitely have to talk about it because it could have led to a costly mistake for Philadelphia. But
yeah.
having the defense be able to regather and have Andre Blake do what he does best, I feel sort of negates that. But still, I mean, it's undisciplined play. You never like to see it, of course. And it was in bunches, having all four of those happen. It's not the style that we're used to seeing. But when we play against a team like how we did with NYCFC as well earlier on in the year, and with New York, we play a different style against them compared to other teams in the league, and it definitely showed with how we played that match for sure.
Yeah, that and like look, and it showed it, and it showed like I said, I got written down here, um, just how good it was. Like I said, I wasn't thrilled of the yellow cards coming out there early. Like I said, just some of the dumb mistakes that were there. And like I said, if it wasn't for Andre Blake, just being as good as he is, that could have been scary. But like I said, luckily, um, he like I said, he played lights out between the net. And now we got a question coming in from our man on Steve from YouTube. He says, "Do you think the Union can win the cup?"
I think there's a very strong chance the Philadelphia Union can win the MLS Cup. I mean, you just look at
I do.
look at how LAFC has played over the past few matches compared to Philadelphia. I mean, most teams in the league, like sure, a lot of our opponents now are lesser competition. That is very true. But just look at how we've played throughout the season. Just offensively, we are a different team this year compared to a lot of teams in this league. Defensively, we're considered one of, if not the best team in the league. So it's kind of hard to, at this point in the season, with 4 games left for Philadelphia Union to play, it's tough to not consider them a heavy favorite going into the playoffs, like at all.
Right, and you can't. Like I said, I think they're going to rock people. I think they are going to be rocking a lot of teams. Like I stated earlier.
There's very high odds that they definitely have a
I'm not.
strong runs of how well they've played throughout the season.
I think the only way they lose is if they beat themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like,
or another COVID thing like against NYCFC in the Eastern Conference Final last year.
you're right. And like I was explaining earlier, I said the only team that's really scares me is probably Dallas, and maybe LAFC. Other than them,
Yeah, but LA, you have to think they're the other team that is considered the best in the league, and we managed to duel them out to a draw.
right?
And that was
Um,
playing down twice in that match, being able to come back and dig deep and get the tying goals each time. So I mean,
right.
the FC Dallas loss was tough. It was one of those out of position things where a goal just happened to be given up. So I feel like it's kind of hard to even consider FC Dallas that big of a threat because we played them very evenly if it wasn't for that one mistake that was made.
Well, and
I mean,
that's what I
that
said.
very easily could have been a 0-0 draw. And then just to be able, like I said, to duke it out with LAFC the way we did and draw 2-2, and to play teams like Nashville and the other teams that we played from the Western Conference, we have a solid record against Western Conference competition, and even considering top 5 Western Conference competition, we played FC Dallas and we've played LAFC, and we're 0-1-1. It's not all that bad, honestly, considering.
No, so here goes one from, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I answered it earlier, so Steve asked this a little earlier. Were you shocked that the call was overturned by the block that the play rule?
I'm really not. It's just one of those calls, it's bound to happen. There's a lot of different rulings with those kinds of things. VAR can be a blessing and a curse sometimes. I personally didn't think it was at the time, but watching it over again, it definitely was. Like you can't even if it's only a little bit, you can't be in the way of the goalie when the play is happening. Offensively,
Right.
you can't. They're like in hockey, how you can park yourself in front of the keeper as the shot's being taken. Can't do that
Right.
at all in MLS. Even if it's the smallest bit, if you obscure the goalie's line of sight from the ball, immediate disallowment. So, like I said, even if it was just a small bit of them that was in that line, it's still a call. I personally, if I was the ref in that match, I would not have called it. But then again, he's taking a ruling from someone else at that point, going to the VAR for the call. So it's kind of hard, personally, I usually agree with the call on the field most of the time, but it looked a bit off to me. It's just one of those you have to go with either the ruling on the field, or if you take the VAR, that's pretty much what you got. And it was a tough break, but it happens.
Right, and so like I said, man, they Austin um, but like I said, I'm just more impressed. Like I said, they took care of everything at home. When you just try and look for the scary parts about New York and what they're going to bring to the table, I had no fear of this team. I just felt like might have been a closer game, but I had no fear of the Union losing because the Union stepped their game up when they played up against higher competition, and this is one of these games are like, nah, I just feel like the Union are going to win now. A shutout's amazing. A shutout, like I said, especially you had ton of deficiencies in the beginning, and recuperating that. And like I said, the one play where, and I forget who picked it, but it was Gazdag who answered rang the bell. I mean, he was just stood there, and just like that fast, one of our Union players just picked them off. Just picked them off,
Yeah.
and it made them paralyzed. Now, are you surprised? I looked at the stats. The Union are leading the league in goals. They lead it in goals up the middle. They are top in assists. They have Andre Blake, as mentioned, leading the shutout categories. We got Gazdag third in goals. I mean, this team is all over the MLS boards, every category.
Yeah. So the what you were asking was, am I surprised at any of that this year? Is that what
Yes.
you were trying to ask? No, not at all. Not in the least bit. Honestly, I knew that Gazdag was only going to improve from what we had saw last year. Mikhail Ua had a lot of promise. He was a former, essentially, league MVP coming from his previous league back home.
Mhm.
Julian Carranza had he played a few matches with Inter Miami before he came to us, and he showed flashes of being a great striker. So I mean,
Right.
being able to know what these guys were potentially capable of, and seeing it cultivate in such a short time, where the only person that has really been here a long time technically are Gazdag and Ua. Gazdag's been here the longest in essentially 2 full seasons, because we got Gazdag and Ua right around the same time. It's just Gazdag
Right.
got all of his visa stuff cleared up first, and he was able to get some time with the first team before the season had started. But you could just see it from all 3 of them, just from their film coming in when we first got them, like these guys have the potential to be great goal scorers in this league. And you look at all three of them. All three of them are, I think, top 15 in goals, I believe. Let me double check that. I could be correct about that, but I don't want to just be outright wrong. So let me look into it before I actually make that statement. But it's the way this season's been so far for Philadelphia. Honestly, I'm not surprised. You know, Andre Blake is always going to be perennially one of the best goaltenders in the league, if not the best. It's just how it's been. Kai Wagner, you can just tell from how he had been playing that like he's gonna be one of those assist kind of guys just based off of where he is in terms of set pieces and corners, being the primary guy for that. Let me just get the goals list here.
Yeah, while you're doing that,
of which Hani Mukhtar stands up top at 21. Shout out to my brother Alex down there in Nashville. Your boy's doing amazing again this year. I still don't know why they didn't give him the MVP last year, but it's neither here nor there. We can discuss that at another time. It's taking forever to load, so I'm kind of buying a bit more time, but I can't. So we'll just let it go.
So Steve says, how far do you think that the Union will make it into the playoffs?
At minimum, with the way this team is playing, MLS Cup Finals appearance.
Same. It's like I explained earlier.
Too strong offensively, too staunch defensively. So very good flow across the midfield. And again, like I said, one of the best, if not the best, goalkeeper in the league right now. So it's hard to really bet against this team. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm with you. Like, what is it about anyone else? Just like I said, who's there really to scare you? Who? And I get it. Everyone goes, "Oh, it's playoffs, and it's going to hold." Look, if they choke in the playoffs, someone's head's going to roll. And that's just the natural of the beast. Like if you are playing this ball and then you choke, I'm not going to do it. Not one card will make it.
It would be very tough. A very tough off season and a very bitter pill for this team to swallow if they happen to essentially shoot themselves in the foot at any point during MLS.
Yeah. But
because I did look into it, and my statement was correct. We have 3 goal scorers in the top 15 in the league.
Wow.
Like it's just the way this team is, and Kai Wagner is, I think it was 3rd in the league in assists. Like this team is very strong right now, and they found this is the perfect stretch of the season to have that strong finish I was talking about early on in the year, where it was going to be tight for either top in the league or top in your conference, and you were going to have to get a string of wins, and the tail end of the season is where it could happen. It's happening. It is exactly what I said could potentially happen, and it's just everything that you wanted this league season to be. It's been, like you've seen a team completely destroy their expectations in Austin FC just in terms of the analytics. Like their expected goal differential was -5, and going into last week's play, when we talked last week, they were at +21. That's a 26 goal swing. Like teams are exceeding expectations this year. And I feel like Philadelphia, even though a lot of people out there in the soccer media were expecting them to be a very strong side again this year, I feel like they're still even exceeding that expectation. Just because you look at all the records, just team and league, that we've set throughout the year. Most goals in a 3-game span. Most wins by 6 or more goals is now 4. We've done all 4 of them this year.
Right, and
we set team records. Gazdag with the goals in a season, the team overall with points in a season. Now, like there is so much more that this team has now shown that they are capable of, and now the sky is the limit. We're shattering every single record that we have as a team at this point, and now it's just run, just keep running with it. Because if you stop now, you're gonna hit the playoffs when you stop, and it's gonna be over. So now you cannot stop. Now you have now it's this level or nothing. And if it's nothing, it's going to be a very disappointing nothing.
And that's where I feel like this is where like this team is just playing. Like I said, ever since that, all it does is like I said, for this team that like shoot themselves in the foot, then they respond big time. And like it's like I alluded to earlier, like they've took ever since that loss in Dallas, they took the belt off and they took in pretty much every team to the woodshed. But listen, I'm going to shift gears here a little bit. I'm going to change my son in doing so. But look, um, Orlando, fourth straight win. They lost about a month. The last time they look, it's all start with us. We whooped them. They won on a 3-game losing streak. The last loss was against New England Resolution, and now all of a sudden they have won four straight. They beat the New York Red Bull. They beat Charlotte. They beat New York YC, and they the last beat Seattle. They were supposed to play last, but it was postponed. But look, I'm going to go change my little man. You just fill in the blanks, and I'll be right with you.
Yeah. So Orlando City, like Pat said, on a bit of a winning streak since losing 3-0 to Orlando City. This has been a team that has sort of been very up and down throughout the entire year. So I feel like they're at a point now where they have to play their Open Cup final tomorrow, and then they play us 2 days after. So it's going to be a bit of a tougher thing for them. They'll probably end up having to just give up for the Open Cup potentially to be in a point where they are in terms of fitness to be able to play us properly and give themselves a bit more of a better position moving up towards New York City FC in the standings. So, I mean, it's going to be – I feel like the Orlando City side has a lot to prove with how they've been this year. They've been very up and down, and they want to prove that that's not what they are. But they're going to run into a Philadelphia Union side that is already playing at the top of their game and have been for a good while now. So I feel like it's going to be a bit tougher for them to have to really figure out. Philadelphia already knows very well how this team plays. Even though it was a 1-0 win, we definitely played them exceptionally well, and it's going to be a tough time for Orlando to be able to try and come close to matching the intensity that we've had. It's going to be the same thing that you see every week from Philadelphia for what they need to do to win. They just need to stay strong on the back line. The midfield needs to work the way it's been working with McGlynn and those guys. And it's really just about being able to find the runs, and that's all it's ever been about. And they've been able to find them very well this year, and the execution has been there. The final touch has been there. So it's really just, keep practicing what you've been preaching, run the full 90 the way that you would every other match. 4 matches left in the season now, and there's no reason to stop now. There's no reason to, at this point, you're pushing to just be the best in the league and prove that that's where you belong. So, I mean, it's gonna be a good stretch run here at the end of the season. Orlando City, I think we follow up again. I'm sorry, I had it up and I forgot. You have Orlando City coming up Saturday, and then playing Atlanta again, and then you have that friendly on the 25th of September. You go on the road to play Charlotte, come back home to finish with Toronto. Like, this is the perfect stretch run for Philadelphia to really be able to just push as hard as they need to carry momentum through to the playoffs. And having the bye, I feel like, gives them a bit more of an advantage, so they can probably play a little bit harder and have that week of rest to be able to come back in a bit more fresh going into the playoffs. So it's going to be a really fun stretch run. Like I said, it's going to be just play strong defensively and just play every minute of it like you've been playing every minute of every match so far, and you're going to get the result that you want. Orlando City has shown that they are a bit weak in the midfield from time to time. The stretch runs to the outside, they have a bit of a harder time containing. They can be very troublesome to them. So it's really just, impose your will the way you have been all season long, and just really just, especially with the outside run, that's going to be your big key. Guys like Bizo and Kai Wagner running down the outside to be able to set up those key passes into the box, and just make sure you have the bodies there to be able to clean anything up that bounces around. It's going to be a very simple philosophy, the same thing that Coach Curtin's been running all season long, and you're going to get a result. Your back line's going to do what they do. Andre Blake is going to do what he does. You just need to have the offense do what they do. And the team overall has just been, this season has been way better than most people had expected them to be. Not saying that we, like, personally, I knew they were going to be a top team in the conference at least. I didn't expect, again, another potential supporter shield within the last 3 years. But it's one of those things, it's just how sports are from time to time, Windows open for teams and then they close for other teams. It's been amazing to watch this team develop overall. But, there he is. But, like, Pat, I feel like you can piggyback off of this. It's been really fun watching how the Philadelphia Union have developed into the team that they are right now. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm like I said, I'm blown away from what they are. Like I said, for a lot of people out there, like, again, I'll touch on this again. I was your typical casual Union fan. I'm like, I'm not really into this. I'll let me check it out. But then, like I said, I became more involved. And like I said, once you take this in and realize, look, and like again, like I know, like a lot of people are old heads, and they just alluded to, they don't have 4 teams in the city. I get all that, but look, give them a try. Go down the game, give it a whirl. I'm telling you, there are more than 4 teams in the city. Just open your eyes, get rid of the old school 700 mentality, give it a whirl. Listen, like I said, I didn't really get a chance because I was changing a little man here to able to hear what you were saying about this Orlando game. And like I said, 4 wins, 4 straight. They've been having a little bit of a hot August. They were supposed to play last week. They didn't. Their game got postponed against Miami.
Was it the U.S. Open Cup final got postponed?
Yeah. So they
against,
really
Sacramento Republic FC or something like that.
Yeah, and they were supposed to play. Then they were supposed to play Miami International.
That could be something that's kind of rough for them. I did allude to it during the time that you were away. They may potentially have to throw away their Open Cup final to keep their team ready to play Philadelphia to try and climb the table.
Well,
if they do, they'll technically still stay in the position that they're in. But if NYCFC lose, they tie with them in points. They're still behind them based off of goal differential. And then you go into a bit of a stretch where you play some weaker competition. Orlando does. They get to play Atlanta, and I think it was DC. But like they have a bit of a fun schedule at the end here. Oh no, they play Atlanta, Toronto, NYCFC, Miami, and then Columbus. It's like aside from us, the only team that you play that's considered higher than you in the standings right now is New York City. So like you have a bit of a decent road, but like you cannot squander the opportunity to stack up against the best team in the league right now.
No,
and don't get me wrong. Open Cup final, yes, definitely. Like I would love to see an MLS side win the Open Cup. Of course, I would. I always do. But like, I don't know. Do you really run the risk of people getting hurt in the Open Cup final and then losing them for potentially a key stretch run for you? I don't know.
No, it's not worth it.
It's a really tough spot to be in for Orlando now because the fact that a match got postponed, so it shifted the rest of their schedule around. Like it's bad stuff. It's just not good.
No. Listen, they just gotta focus. Like I said, it's a tough spot for them to be in. But like I said, coming off a 4-game win, and it's only been 1 goal differentials with all their victories. So it's not like they're blowing the doors off anybody. Like I said, they only beat New York and New York Red Bull, the only teams that are ahead of them in the standings. It wasn't really, again, Charlotte and Seattle were kind of, stuck there in the middle.
Seattle's never really a slouch of a team, but
no. But they're like I said, they're not really good. But like I said, Orlando coming into Philadelphia, which is not an easy place to play,
not for soccer here in Philly.
No, so they're gonna have to try and bring their A game. But like I said, I don't know how you bring your A game against a team that's pretty much leading every category in soccer. I
Yeah,
just don't know how you do
it's
that.
hard. It's hard to be proud of bringing a tier game against an S tier team.
Yeah, and
That's
they're gonna.
that's on my fighting game lingo for those of y'all that don't know.
But like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I saw the one game that they played against Miami. They don't look like they're fast. I don't know what's the key antidote for those guys that they've been picking up these late victories. So also, I'll go to you. What's been their key?
I'm not 100% sure. Like it was before. It just seems to be a bunch of just good bounces that happen to go their way in tight matches. So I mean, it's one of those things that's not something that Philadelphia tends to give up a ton. Those like crazy bouncing, the crazy bouncers like inside of the box and stuff like that. We don't tend to let that stuff through too much. So I feel like a lot of the luck that they've been having in terms of the way the ball's been bouncing might not happen against Philadelphia because of how we play defensively and just how we are able to work with the ball and transition and be able to counter and all that stuff. I feel like we have that advantage in we're not, I guess you'd say, as sloppy of a team with how we handle the ball closer to our own goal.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like because you had said one of the teams. Oh, crap! What was one of the teams they played? Seattle, right?
Seattle.
They're definitely not a slouch team, but they've gotten a lot sloppier over the past few years, like for sure. So like,
Right.
It's one of those things. Like it's not. I feel like it's more indicative of the play than it is the actual team itself. The wins that they've gotten, which I'm not discrediting their heart and their push at all, but they've gotten a lot of lucky bounces. So I feel like this is where the luck kind of stops for them. They come back down to earth for a quick minute, and then they get into a lesser competition match, and they're able to actually secure some more points going forward. So I mean, they'll probably finish about where they are in the table, 5-7. I'm going to be doing a lot of cup playoff talk over the next couple of weeks because of the fact that there's teams that either we're talking about in terms of chasing towards better seeding, or potentially closing the gap on us in terms of top. So they're going to finish. Orlando City's going to finish a 5-7, which means they'll probably at worst, for in terms of their situation, probably play against New York Red Bull, which isn't really that bad when you think about it, because they've already gotten a win against New York Red Bull, so they kind of have the advantage there a little bit. But then NYCFC will probably finish about where they are. They'll probably end up dropping some spaces because they're losing pace because Tati Castellanos isn't there. He's not there, right. So they've lost a lot of their key offensive play. So they haven't been getting as many as many points as they were earlier on in the season when they were keeping pace with us and exceeding us throughout the season. So there's a lot of moving pieces to everything underneath the Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference. A lot of things have happened in terms of like injury and things like that, where these teams are now either losing pace or other teams are gaining ground. So I again, another thing I had said early on in the year, like this conference was going to be a dogfight for who ends up in the playoffs, and that's what's happening. There's so much happening below number 1 and number 2 that it's kind of tough to actually really like lock in where a team is going to be in terms of seeding going into the playoffs. So like it's I usually go within a 2-spot range. So like at this point, Orlando City can either sit where they are at 5, or they just barely squeak in as a 7. NYCFC is at a 3 right now. They could probably fall to 6. I don't see them gaining much ground because they don't have the offensive capabilities of Castellanos anymore. So they kind of lose in that. New York Red Bull are probably going to go to 3. At worst, they drop to 5 because they have that inconsistency. Montreal's been strong. They're going to stay as a 2. Philadelphia's obvious 1. So it's kind of hard.
They came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Montreal blew up mid-season. They out of nowhere got really good. They really did find their form and got behind their coach in terms of his philosophy and how he wanted them to play, and he's been doing an amazing job. They've been doing an absolutely amazing job. Like kudos to them because they were not a great team last year or the year before. So I feel like for Montreal, this is the beginning of their window opening.
Right, and like you said, even in the beginning of this year, they weren't, like I said, weren't blowing the doors off anybody. But yeah, look, man, they've got hot at the right time, and I think, like you were saying earlier, I think that Orlando is just going to stay in that 5 seed. I don't see them climbing up any higher. I don't, like I said, they've got 4 wins on their belt, but I think they're going to come to a reality check this weekend. I think Saturday they're going to walk in just to get their mouth, just get punched in the mouth. Um, I don't see them, then they're going to come back to reality and let's see where they go from there. But just for them to hold the 5 seed in the way that I've seen them play soccer, I'm like, wow, I'm shocked. But this is what they are. They're a very up and down team. One part of the season or 1 month they could play very hot, the next minute they can be very cold. But like I said, I think just the reality is they're going to get a beat down come Saturday once they walk into Chester.
Definitely agree with that. They are walking into a team that has too much momentum and all of the upside in the world in this Philadelphia Union side, and it's going to be very tough for them to be able to come in and secure 3 points going up against this team.
Now, like I said, I ask you, like, we don't know what the antidote is for why they've been hot, but have they have a player who's been playing really hot? Because, like I said, I looked at the top 5 categories, and I don't see not one Orlando City, name in there.
Yeah,
But like,
they haven't really been that kind of a team. They do have a few decent players though. One of the guys that we had a bit of issue with the last time we played them was Facundo Torres. He's been a very good guy in terms of set pieces and things like that for them. So I mean, there are tons of guys on this team that you can never sort of count out in terms of their capability on the pitch. So I mean, you just have to stay strong, work like before you came back. Definitely work the outside run because this team is very weak on that. You've seen that in pretty much most of their matches throughout the season. They have a lot of trouble containing the outside run, and the chances that come in from the outside are always quality. So having guys like Bizo, Harriel, Wagner, and even Leon Flock running out there if he's out on the 11 to start the match, you have that capability of being able to get that ball in from the outside, and we are very good at cleaning up those bounces that happen to go around from any ball that happens to be in the middle. So that's where a lot of our league-leading goals from the middle have come from. There's a lot of that kind of cleanup stuff, a lot of nice footwork off of a decent ball into the middle. We're just offensively incredible this year.
They're beating a lot of guys one-on-ones.
Yeah, amazing play in terms of one-on-one. And especially with just the sheer capability of Olivier Mbaizo and Kai Wagner in terms of being wingbacks and being able to essentially be extremely vital to this team offensively as wingback defensemen is extremely rare, to the point where a lot of people are talking about Kai Wagner's been gaining interest from teams abroad. So, I mean, there is a very strong possibility that we don't see Kai Wagner for very much longer. Like, he's an incredibly useful player. He is an extremely, he's a very strong, heart style player, you know what I mean? Like, he leaves everything out on the pitch when he plays.
Well,
in that sense. So it's really hard to not see him gaining interest from somebody else. I'm not surprised at all, especially with how he's played over the last 3 years. You can't discredit anything that this man has done for this team in terms of helping this offense grow.
And so, like I said, you mentioned this too. Orlando though is, like I said, they're in a tough spot. They have a 4-game momentum window winning streak. Their backs against the wall. They might feel like the most dangerous animal in the room. They might be they must feel like they must get this W now. They must get this dub now. However, like I said,
it would be a nice notch for them to have on their belt, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see the upset. I don't think, like I said, you're coming to South Philly, and it's a tough place to get. I can't stress that enough. It's tough, and you have to figure out how to beat.
It's a very tough spot.
You got to figure out how to beat Jim Curtin at his own game, and
no matter what Alexi Lawless says, a stadium on a river is incredible. The only way to know for yourself is to go there and actually watch and take it in, because the video that you see from a match like those outside B-roll style shots, they don't do it justice.
I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't get to some of your
Yes,
comments here.
100% they
Yes,
continue this winning
yeah,
streak.
yes, absolutely.
Um,
He goes. The union can't stop. They need to make it all the way. Yeah, they
yeah,
will make it all the way.
at this point, I was saying the ceiling is extremely high for this team, and the only way that you cap this off is either at least a finals appearance, but I feel like you need to win MLS Cup. They will
Yeah,
definitely stay in first place. Montreal is too far back. Um, so, like, I feel like Montreal has had an incredible season. They're definitely too far back to be able to catch us at this point. Um, so, I mean, like,
yeah,
they're definitely going to stay in first place. Right now, personally, for me, it's the race for supporter shield now.
yeah.
Um, just because of the fact that we are stupid high in goal differential. Let me get the
Yeah.
actual number for you really quick. In terms of goal differential, we are plus 42,
Hmm.
and LAFC is plus 27. So
Wow.
that just goes to show you the actual like serious gap that we have on LA in terms of goal differential to maintain this top spot. The only way
Dude,
that they get it from us now is we score no goals the rest of the way, and they score 13, 14 to be exact,
yeah.
and win by a total combined score of 14-0 over the
Wow.
rest of this season, and we
Yeah.
scored nothing the rest of the way.
So yeah, we got what
Somehow
next?
still keep pace with their wins.
Right. So we got this week. We got this. We got Orlando. How many games we got left? We got Orlando next
It
week. Next.
is it is I think it's Orlando, Atlanta. Then we have that international friendly against Pachuca, and then October 1st in Charlotte, and then back home
Charlotte,
to round out on the 9th against Toronto.
Toronto. Wow. So only a few games left, man.
And all three
Um,
of them are against teams that are not in the playoffs.
wow. So again,
The very
this
last one's against the statistically worst team in the league in Toronto FC.
they might just run like like they're just like a bench game. Like seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I mean, why? You know what I
Actually,
mean? I mean,
I don't see that happening because at that point it'll probably still be pretty close for
really?
supporter shield if you're playing for that. Oh yeah, LA's been getting wins. LA's been sort of working themselves out a little bit. They've been
Hmm.
putting together a little bit. They're at the same amount of points as us at 60. They have 19 wins on the year where we only have 17, and they just beat Salt Lake and they're playing Dallas on Saturday. On the
Right.
yeah, Saturday.
No, so here, like I said, I want to pay a couple more bills here for us at EOP and Dev Sports. Again, guys, if you want to hop on a bus trip to see the Eagles take on the Birds, I'm sorry, Eagles take on the Birds. The Birds take on Washington D.C. and the Commanders and Carson
Washington
Wentz. This,
Commanders.
yeah, if you want to see the Birds, create havoc for one Carson Wentz, this is your opportunity time. Only $325. Like I said earlier, you guys think this is an arm and a leg, but this is what you'd be paying for one seat up at the link. Here you get a bus trip, bus, food, drinks, entertainment. Go to phillysportstrips.com. Tell them EOP sent you. And on top of that, here's our man David R. Cherry, working compensation, medical vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. Just call them at 610-565-0300. Give them a shout. So, with that being said, man, and again, this, my friend, is only getting bigger by the second. So, again, the EOP, the Dev Road Sports, and the Painted Lines, the family is only getting bigger, and we don't stop rocking. So, again, guys,
Definitely don't.
um, yeah, I mean, the podcasting on this network is only getting bigger. So, like I said, guys, Austin, what is your final thought on this victory for Orlando? What's going to be your final? What's
My
your final
final
prediction?
against Orlando, 3-1.
Three. I'm smelling a 5-1 or Union dub.
Very nice. Very nice.
They're not going to get a chance to get a cheesesteak. They are just going to come here to catch their beating, get back on that flight, and get out of here. So that's what I have locked down for them. Like I said, this has been a great episode of the Attack and Theory, guys. Follow Austin Hamill on Twitter. Give him some love and hit up him on Facebook. Follow him on Instagram. Follow him on everywhere. He's everywhere. Again, he'll be doing some video game pod. Maybe we'll talk about this Thursday. We don't know what's going to be. I mean, we got things that are loaded. Um,
I'm off this Thursday, so whatever, dude.
oh shoot. So that's even better news. Again, and again, you got me. We'll be just racking it up here. We'll be talking some video games as well. So guys, look for me. Also, I know our man Gus couldn't make it. He just called me last minute, thing. He had to do it, take care of the fam. But he'll be back next week, next Thursday. Uh, we'll be looking and we'll be breaking down this Orlando matchup. Guys, have a fun time. We'll catch you later.
See y'all then.